Chapter 20, A New Merry Hollow. The first rays of sunlight crept over the horizon, revealing a merry hollow transformed. Gone was the artificial eternal Christmas, replaced by a breathtaking blend of winter's natural beauty and the town's festive spirit. Icicles hung from eaves like crystalline garlands, their surfaces catching the light and refracting it into rainbows. Snow blanketed the ground, but instead of the uniform whiteness of before, it sparkled with hints of gold and silver, remnants of Christmas magic intertwining with winter's touch. Holly Evergreen stood on the steps of the gingerbread cottage bakery, marveling at the sight. The great Christmas tree in the town square still stood proud, but now its branches were dusted with real snow, ornaments peeking out like colorful birds in a winter forest. Nearby, a group of children were building a snowman, their laughter ringing out in the crisp morning air. "It's beautiful, isn't it?" Jack Frost's cool voice came from beside her. "I never thought I'd see Merry Hollow like this." Holly nodded, leaning into him slightly. "It's more than beautiful. It's right. This is what our town was always meant to be." As they watched, a shimmering form began to coalesce near the children's snowman. It was a winter spirit, its body made of swirling snow and ice crystals. The children paused in their play, eyes wide with a mixture of wonder and apprehension. Holly and Jack exchanged a glance before hurrying over. This was the moment they had been preparing for, the first interactions between Merry Hollow's citizens and the newly freed winter spirits. "Hello there," Holly said warmly, addressing both the spirit and the children. "Isn't this a lovely morning for building snowmen?" The winter spirit tilted its head, regarding Holly curiously. When it spoke, its voice was like the whisper of snowfall. "We have watched for so long. May we join in the creation?" One of the braver children, a young elf named Tinsel, stepped forward. "Do you know how to make snowmen?" The spirit's form rippled in what might have been a laugh. "Child, we are the essence of snow itself. But perhaps you could teach us the joy you find in shaping it?" Just like that, the ice was broken. Soon, the children were showing the winter spirit how to roll the perfect snowball, giggling as it used its powers to create intricate icy details for the snowman's face and clothes. Similar scenes were playing out across Merry Hollow. Winter spirits emerged cautiously, meeting the townsfolk with a mixture of curiosity and ancient wisdom. There were moments of tension, of course, centuries of separation couldn't be erased overnight. But with Holly, Jack, and the other leaders of Merry Hollow mediating, understanding began to grow. Near the town hall, Juniper was deep in conversation with a group of spirits and citizens. Her wild magic swirled around her, creating small illusions to illustrate her points. "I've decided to stay," she announced as Holly and Jack approached. "Merry Hollow needs someone to help bridge the gap between our Christmas traditions and the natural magic of the seasons. I'm going to open a shop, part magical supplies, part educational center." Holly beamed, pulling her sister into a hug. "That's wonderful, June. I can't think of anyone better suited for the job." As the morning wore on, Holly found herself constantly amazed by how quickly Merry Hollow was adapting. Shopkeepers were already discussing ideas for seasonal products, while the town's magical infrastructure was being adjusted to accommodate the changing weather patterns. Peppermint hurried up to them, her cheeks flushed with excitement. "Holly. Jack. I've just finished communicating with the Magical Council. They're impressed with how we've handled the transition. They want to use Merry Hollow as a model for other magical communities facing similar imbalances." Jack raised an eyebrow. "That's quite a turnaround from wanting to drain our magic." Pepper nodded vigorously. "They've realized that harmony and balance are more powerful than any extracted magic could ever be. They're sending representatives to learn from us." As the day progressed, Holly found moments to reflect on the incredible journey they had all been through. She watched Jack teaching a group of young elves how to create perfect snowflakes, his face alight with joy. She saw Juniper and Mayor Candy Cane deep in discussion about new seasonal festivals, wild magic and Christmas cheer mingling in the air around them. Even Frosty Iceheart 3, once so bitter and angry, was finding his place in the new Merry Hollow. He was working alongside Glacia, learning to use his ice powers in harmony with the natural flow of winter magic. As evening fell, Holly and Jack found a quiet moment alone. They stood on a small hill overlooking the town, watching as the first stars appeared in the winter sky. "I can hardly believe how much has changed," Holly said softly. "Not just the town, but all of us." Jack nodded, taking her hand in his. "You've grown so much, Holly. You faced your fears, challenged everything you thought you knew, and came out stronger for it." Holly smiled up at him. "We all did. And now I'm actually excited for the future. For the first time, I feel like anything is possible." Jack's eyes sparkled with mischief and affection. "Well then, Miss Evergreen, what's next for us? Any more magical crises you'd like to solve? Or perhaps?" He hesitated, a rare look of vulnerability crossing his face. "Perhaps we could focus on some more personal adventures?" Holly felt her heart skip a beat. "I think I'd like that very much, Mr. Frost." As they leaned in towards each other, a sudden movement caught Holly's eye. There, at the edge of the forest, she saw a small, impish creature darting between the shadows. Its eyes glowed with mischievous magic, and in its hands, it clutched a small, strangely familiar toy. "Jack," Holly said, her voice a mix of excitement and apprehension, "did you see that?" But when she turned back to look, the creature was gone, leaving no trace but a faint shimmer in the air. Jack frowned, scanning the tree line. "See what? Is everything all right?" Holly shook her head, wondering if she had imagined it. "It's probably nothing. Come on, let's head back to the bakery. I'm thinking of trying out some new winter-themed recipes." As they walked hand in hand towards the gingerbread cottage bakery, neither Holly nor Jack noticed the pair of gleaming eyes watching them from the shadows. The impish creature giggled silently, its toy glowing with magical promise. Merry Hollow's adventures, it seemed, were far from over. The town settled into its first true night of winter, stars twinkling overhead like distant Christmas lights. In homes across Merry Hollow, families gathered around warm fires, sharing stories of the day's wonders and making plans for the season ahead. Winter spirits drifted through the streets, their presence bringing a sense of peaceful magic to the night air. In the gingerbread cottage bakery, Holly and her friends gathered for a celebratory dinner. The table was laden with dishes that blended Christmas traditions with winter's bounty: roast turkey with iceberry sauce, snowflake-shaped cookies dusted with magical frost, and steaming mugs of hot chocolate topped with marshmallows that looked like tiny clouds. As they ate and laughed together, Holly looked around at the faces of those she loved. Jack, his cool presence a constant comfort at her side. Juniper, her wild magic now tempered with newfound wisdom and purpose. Pepper, practically bouncing in her seat as she shared her ideas for Merry Hollow's future. Mayor Candy Cane, her jolly demeanor restored now that the crisis had passed. "I'd like to propose a toast," Holly said, raising her mug. "To Merry Hollow, and to new beginnings." "To balance," Jack added. "To understanding," Juniper chimed in. "To adventure," Pepper exclaimed. As their mugs clinked together, Holly felt a warmth that had nothing to do with the fire crackling in the hearth. This was the true spirit of Christmas, she realized, not eternal decorations or never-ending carols, but the love and joy shared between friends and family, no matter the season. Later that night, as the town slept peacefully under its blanket of snow, the impish creature crept out of hiding. It scampered through the streets, its toy glowing softly in the moonlight. Wherever it passed, small bursts of wild, unpredictable magic sprang to life: icicles that chimed with ethereal music, snowdrifts that sparkled with ever-changing colors, frost patterns that seemed to tell ancient stories. The creature paused at the base of the great Christmas tree, looking up at the blended magics swirling in its branches. With a mischievous grin, it placed its toy, a small, intricately carved wooden figure, at the tree's roots. The toy sank into the snow, vanishing from sight but leaving behind a pulse of